A quick video on Pandas Data Reader in Python, how you can use Pandas Data Reader to query data from various sources. This could be an interesting module to use if you, for example, want to query stock price data from Yahoo Finance, or, for example, in this case, GDP data from the Federal Reserve in the US. The module name is Pandas Data Reader, and you need to also import, in this case, the subpackage data. I imported with the abbreviation web. I'm also importing datetime, which allows me to specify dates in datetime format, and this I will be using to specify a start and ending date, as you can see in these two lines of code. And then I use the pandas data reader.data package to call the data reader method. In this one, I have to specify the source from which I want to query data. I have to specify the start and end date of the period I want to query data for. And then I have to provide an indicator. In case of a stock, it would be the ticker, the stock ticker. In this case, it's an abbreviation for the observation data that we want to collect and query, which is the GDP, so the gross domestic product for the US. So this is done in these lines of code. What the method will return is a data frame, a pandas data frame, and I'm providing here the header of this data frame so that you can see the structure of this data frame. As you can see, this data frame is comprised of two columns. The first column will have the date entries, and the second column will have the thereto associated gross domestic product as reported by the Federal Reserve in the US. And I can visualize this in matplotlib, so I proceed with importing matplotlib.pyplot. I'm creating a figure with a defined size, and for the x-axis I will be using the index column, which will be the dates, and then as the y-axis, or the y values for my plot, for my line plot, I will be using the GDP data as reported by the Federal Reserve. I'm setting the color to red, adjusting the title and the labels for the x and y axis, and the result is the plot you can see here. So here you can see the quarterly US GDP development since 1950 up until today. The crash here is due to COVID-19, and why is it quarterly? Well, this is something I could see here from the data frame. So you can see it's like every 3 months I have a new entry in this data frame. So this is quarterly US GDP data. If you look at the documentation for Pandas Data Reader, you can see all the various sources that you can specify for the data reader method. As I said, you can, for example, query data from Yahoo Finance, from Google. There are various sources that you can query data from through this module in Python. So I hope this will help you in getting started and will allow you to query data in your scripts. If you want to use this template, you can find a link in the video description. It will take you to this Jupyter notebook, and then you can try to use the template to implement a script on your own.